Good morning, y'all. This is Sherilyn from Just Goodness 333, and I want to take you on a garden tour. But first, I want to show you a few goodies I want to talk about later on. Give you a teaser. We've got some landscape fabric to talk about. What in the world happened here? We're going to reuse those. We've got some goodies that I got for next to nothing. So let's go. First stop on the garden tour, it's right here at the bottom of the potting shed. And I have a few little plants here. That are little seedlings, and look at this little watermelon. It is just going at it. I wanted to start these in pots so I could move them around, you know, if the sun was too hot or whatever. I didn't use a greenhouse for these because it is the first week of August, and I am in zone 9B, 10A, and it is hot here in South Florida. So I wanted to be able to pull these into the shade if they needed it, start them in the sunshine. I'm a pretty new gardener. I'm not really experienced, but you know, that doesn't matter. Just start growing something. Here are little seedlings. A few weeks ago we did a video on the potting shed. There are little seedlings growing. We've got basil, the volunteer tomatoes that volunteered in the garden last year from what we fed the chickens, and they bore fruit all spring and into the summer. And then we harvested some of the seeds, saved some of the seeds, and there you go. We actually have jalapenos growing, and I can't tell if the rosemary has bloomed or if that's just scraps from weed eating yesterday. So here alongside the pool we just have a few little things. Let's go see the sweet potato vine. This is the sweet potato vine. And I know there's a mess in the back. We've been cleaning stuff out and rearranging things, so just ignore the mess in the back. The sweet potato vine, there's two kinds here. We had the white sweet potato vine on this side, and on this side are some sweet potatoes I got from the farmer's market that I started in the, you know, little jars. We put them in the windowsill and little jars of water, and they grow roots and they grow slips, and you pull the snips off. Maybe in the spring we'll do a video on that, but it's not the time for that right now. There's the sweet potatoes, and this is a mess. We just pulled out the two eggplants that were not doing good here. This is the back side of the house, which needs washing again because it's been raining nonstop. And we have this giant tree in the front yard. It's a plum tree, and it gives fruit, but we hate it, and that's another story for another video. Then we have this area here that is just too wet, and those eggplants didn't do good. But here in this sea, there's the eggplant. Let's have a moment of silence for the dead eggplant. And right here, we have a squash plant. Now, this garden video is going to be about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have a squash plant that we had two of them here that had to come out. They were gorgeous and beautiful. And then the squash bugs came. So we had to take two of them out, and we sprayed neem oil all over this one. And I don't think it's going to make it. May have to come out. Here we have these eggplants that I can see right outside my kitchen window. And they give the prettiest little flowers. Look at, isn't that pretty? Here's some of my marigolds that I saved the seeds from last year. Here's what a baby eggplant looks like. This one is a ping tung, P-I-N-G-T-U-N-G. It's a long skinny eggplant. I got these seeds from Baker Creek, rareseeds.com. And there's another one, a little bigger, not quite ready to harvest. We've got a butternut squash here. The plant's doing okay. Lots of flowers, but I think it's just too wet and too hot. And sometimes when it gets too hot, the pollen will go sterile. And here's what I'm talking about. Bugs. Can you see this? Those little black speckles? Those are bug eggs. We're just going to have to probably pull this plant. That's the squash. This is another eggplant. It's called Rosita. Also from Baker Creek, rareseeds.com. There's a small one. And over there in the back, there's a larger one. And I do have to brace these up. I don't trellis them because they branch out a lot, but I do have to put little supports. Here's a metal tomato cage. They actually belong to my daughter, and when her garden gets established, it's going to be sad, but I'm going to have to let them go back to her. And more butternut squash. We have over here my cute little solar lights. We'll do a video on that next time I find some cute little lamp stands. And here's a melon struggling so hard. I have so much little leaf curl and such. This is the ugly part of the garden. I can't wait to get you guys to the nice part. Here's some more ugly. The beautiful flowers. But I'm getting some spots on all my zinnia leaves. I don't know exactly what that is. We've tried using neem oil and it's not clearing up. Now here's my cucumber plants. And something got them. Something ate them up. We've been spraying neem oil. But the thing is with neem oil, you spray it in the evening, and it's been raining every evening. So I'm not sure exactly how much has been effective. And right there's a few more. We succession planted these, and hopefully those will not struggle as much. Here's our poor, pitiful beans. I promise you we're going to get to the pretty. And this is not it. This side of the yard, this is the ugly. We're going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is the ugly. But these red Chinese noodle beans, these are yard-long beans. And the first batch that I planted went to the aphids. I got a lot of beans. They were really pretty. They were dangling down right here, looking really beautiful. But they went to the aphids. And we've had a massive problem with aphids this summer. I did get one nice cucumber out of this the other day. But then again, this is like similar to the squash plants. If it gets too hot and too wet, their pollen can go sterile, and it can get too damp, and then they won't, pollinate each other. So I'm just loving these. It's just hurting my heart. I know I have to pull these out and restart, but it's just because of all that leaf spot. But they're just so pretty. All right, there's the ugly. There's the ugly. There's some pretty. Let's go look at that. This was the keyhole garden, and it got overrun with all this ground cover. And this is where in the winter I grow, winter and spring, I grow herbs and flowers. It was beautiful, I promise you. Today we got to pull all of this out, and I'm going to use the pool cover, which is the perfect size for this round shape, this round area. I'm going to use the pool cover as a tarp. We're going to tarp this for a couple of weeks, see if we can kill off everything that's there. It'll be easier to pull out because it's been raining like a rainforest around here every day. Don't throw away your old broken wheelbarrows. Look at this. Isn't that cute? I just took some Rust-Oleum paint, some spray paint. I got it for like $4 at Walmart. And I painted the outside of it. Right now, not successfully growing potatoes because it's too wet. There's a cranberry hibiscus. I saved it because it was springing up in the yard, and I just chunked it in there. And then the little green plants are some squash. But look at this. There's our rock garden. Isn't that just beautiful? These zinnias are doing really well. I actually pulled the dead-headed flowers off of the other zinnias and just sprinkled the seeds in here, and look what came up. So we all talk about free stuff. There's some free stuff. Just save the dead heads Let them go to seed. Let them mature on your plant. It may look ugly for a day, but what it's going to give you is lots more flowers. And yes, this is a vegetable garden, but we need flowers for pollinators and birds. This is our mason bee house. I got a Tractor Supply. And last year, if you can see all these little holes in there, a lot of them were filled with mud. And the little mason bees are actually a lot more effective at pollinating flowers than honeybees are. So mason bees are something you can have in your yard without having a hive. Like I said, I bought this little mason bee house, or just an insect house, insect-friendly house. You can get some good spiders to come live in there. They'll eat all the things that eat your plants. And the mason bees will pollinate your plants like crazy. They're so pretty too. They have a little green, I don't know if you call it the thorax or what have you, but they just have a little green body and sweet little wings. They just fly all around the garden. Busy, busy bees. And there's my fencing I just took up. This is some pumpkin that has volunteered. This is the second year in a row this pumpkin has volunteered from the ground. And I have a really great pumpkin story. It's a story about when you lose something and then you get something even bigger and better. So that'll be a great story for another day. This is the little chicken coop. And we just bought some new nesting boxes because these girls are getting their eggs all muddy. So I bought a new nesting box and we're going to put that in. That'll be another video for another day. This is the chicken coop. I actually locked myself in here one day. So you should go check out that video. It's only about 30 seconds long. It's when I was stuck in the chicken coop. And right here in this area is where we're going to build the new chicken coop. An extension because we have babies inside. And speaking of the chickens, let's go say hi. Speaking of free stuff, I got this lattice on the side of the road. How about that for a sidewalk sale? Hey, chicky, 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 chicky. This is our loquat tree. It did really well. It bore lots of fruit. Brought lots of birds in. We put bird netting up, and they got through the bird netting somehow. This is a story, a resurrection story, really. This is a cranberry hibiscus. And in this spot right here is where the mother plant was, and it looked like it died. And I was so just distraught. Cranberry hibiscus is edible. You can eat the leaves, and when it flowers, you can even eat the flowers. It's beautiful. It looks like fall to me. It looks like fall maple leaves, doesn't it? And you can, pardon my video skills. This is so edible and it's so good. It's tart. It has a little bit of a cranberry taste to it and it's great in your salad. You can pick it right off. It rained really hard yesterday, so I'm sure it's already washed. You can pick it right off and eat it. And it's good for you. It's great in your salad. But this thing, sent its seeds out, and we have them growing everywhere now. There's a great resurrection story. More zinnias. This is the front of the back garden. We have the marigolds going crazy. Here's the little okra plant that I bent the stem when I planted it as a seedling. And something told me just leave it, so we just say a little prayer over it when we go by. Maybe it'll work out. Look at there. Aren't those fantastic? Here's some more marigolds going crazy. And here's some more of that cranberry hibiscus that we picked up. I dug them up one day and stuck them in buckets. And here's some okra. And this okra is going nuts. We're going to have to harvest some okra. And hopefully I'll send you a little snapshot of that okra harvest. More cranberry hibiscus. And look who's up to greet the sun. Now let's go in this little garden. This is a cattle panel trellis. Jessica from Roots and Refuge Farm has an amazing video on how to build cattle panel trellises. I'll try to put a link to that video in the description below. I hope you can see it. And it's just put in here with T-post. And if you're thinking about buying T-post, but you want to save money, which I'm all about saving money, you want to save money and not buy the T-post driver, unless you have somebody really tall and you feel like hammering with a small sledgehammer, don't. Spend the $25, get the T-post driver. Here's our lone little watermelon. Can you see it in this light? Maybe not. This is our one little sugar baby watermelon. Hopefully I can brighten that up. And it's not doing great. It really isn't. But he is. Look at there. And here's our okra. I've got to get out here today for sure. This is Perkins Long Pod. I got from rareseeds.com, and that is Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. Isn't it beautiful? The okra's along the lattice fence. And all along the ground here are wood chips, and this is not mulch that I bought at the store. I actually saw a tree company, and they were chopping down trees and chipping up wood, and I said, you want a place to dump those? And they brought them to my front yard. Now I had black-eyed peas growing along this fence all summer, but we had to take them out, and then I've put some more in there. I don't know if they'll get big enough to have a good harvest before the weather cools off, but this is South Florida, so we probably will have plenty of time. All along this back fence was covered with black-eyed peas. And here's my little pitiful pepper bed. I put a shade on it because they like afternoon shade, and it's getting really hot here. But I wanted to show you, I hope you can see it, a bell pepper. Yay! And here we have some more okra. Look at this big guy. But no flowers yet on him. He might be like, all bark and no bite. He may just be all show and no go. I really hope that he gets some flowers soon. We had two right here, and I think the nematodes got them. We had a bad nematode problem in this area of the garden. But here's the little brother next to the big guy, and he's got a flower on him. Look at there. So there's the okra, the chicken pen. Let's give you a little pan around in the backyard, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And over there is my compost pile. That really needs a redo. And we'll have to do a video on that. With all this rain, it's just getting sludgy. It's sitting on a pallet, which is supposed to bring air up underneath it, but it just makes it hard to get in there and turn it. And here's a stockpile of wood, because you never know what you're going to need. So I hope you enjoyed the little garden tour. I hope I learned how to edit YouTube videos. And I hope to see you again on the next video. Until then, this is Sherilyn at Just Goodness 333. Have a blessed day.